We're back, and we own this city is finished.
What do you think?
I honestly, for what it was, which is, I think, just a dramatic,
Recreation.
documentary of it.
Yeah.
Right. Which I think that was entitled to it was meant to be, but I think the problem was they had a little hiccups here and there. But we could beat this all left and right with
The
truth and
timeline.
fact.
There were issues with the timeline. For me.
Right. I think for
every now and
visual
then.
entertainment, and I think, if you watch shows like The Wire and you like this style of show, it's up your alley. It's 6 episodes. They're an hour, and which to me, I don't think is enough to tell any story. Mm-hmm. Like, especially if you do it in that dramatized sequence. I think, starting off the thing, that the first bad thing I could say, and I hate to lead with a bad, but the choppy storylines. Mm-hmm. That irritates me beyond belief. I think there was storylines that we necessarily didn't need. I think that was until the end. There was one part with the political side of things.
Yeah. And
that's where I slowed down during The Wire. But we in the city, obviously, we know what's going on in the government's corrupt, guys. Surprise. Get it. The 1 or 2 people that are in the system that are trying to fix it.
I thought the police chief, the way he was portrayed anyway, I don't know if this is like how he was in reality or if they were just trying to paint someone in the police department in a good light, but I thought he was trying to do the best with what he had. He was a little bit passive, but I thought he had the right mentality.
The main guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
John Goodman lookalike guy.
Yeah, he was in The Wire.
Yes, so I thought that the way he was portrayed, I thought, okay, here's a guy that's at least trying. But my God,
what can you do?
The city broken.
The shit's already going down the hill.
You always hear about how Baltimore's crime-ridden and everyone in there is a dumpster fire. But I believe that the people that should be in charge of bringing the city around should be held to a higher standard, and they should. I mean, if you don't want to be, then don't do the job. It's that simple.
Are you telling me that like Stephanie Rawlings Blake, Catherine Pugh,
yes,
Brandon Scott
hasn't been found guilty of anything.
Well, wait.
So let's just talk about the ones we know.
Okay.
Because, right. I mean, at the end of the day, this show just really made me mad.
You mean, you don't think Marilyn Mosby had it out, like, the right eye for the city?
No, I don't think any of them were well-intentioned.
No, they're all...
I think they were all in it for their own gain. I think that they were just doing their time.
Now, the show follows cops that obviously drug, murder... The city is just...
They were a gang.
Hey, here's the thing I feel about that if we've all seen the show.
They were a gang.
Look, if I'm counting 10 grand and a couple fall out into my pocket, so be it.
That was the very least of what they did. And
no, I wouldn't do any of those shitty stuff. I just want more money for being out there.
They were just... I mean, it was... I think that... yes, I know it was just a story. It was a dramatization of, like, reality. But it just made me mad because Baltimore is broken. And there needs to be people in place in the city that really want to change it. And this show, at the end of it, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just nothing changes. And the people that they cycle in at the end also get cycled out. It's just like a conveyor belt of corruption that just keeps on going. And the only people that seem to be blamed are the residents of the city about how dangerous Baltimore is. Well, I think that the cops played a huge role in that violence. I really do.
Well, that's the thing, because what's easier to do? You blame the system or you blame the people who are affected by the system? Let's blame them. It's like, look at anything, the environment. Who's destroying it? You're not. No, it's the big factories that are. Yeah. You just glance over them because they make money and the people up top make their money.
They put the money to the pockets of the politicians and then say, these are the policies you're going to advocate for and these are the ones that you're going to try to kill.
And that's every city.
Well, Baltimore is notoriously terrible in every aspect.
Yeah.
And it seems like its police department is chief among them.
Of course.
The way they did the story, getting into the actual story, I thought John Bernthal and everybody who played a character, I thought they portrayed their characters pretty well. I loved how true to this. I mean, it was really filmed in Baltimore. There was no corners cut there. They had real names of the streets that were everyone recognized if you've ever been anywhere near the city or actually around in the counties, because the counties were in this show as well. Yeah. Baltimore and Harford County.
Because it spreads. It's not just a thing stuck in Baltimore. It spreads to everything.
I liked the way that that I didn't realize that there were those operatives from the county police department that were actually looking into Baltimore City cops.
But didn't it fall off out of nowhere, though?
It made me feel like there were some cops out there, even in the story, that were like, yeah, none of this makes sense, and we're going to try to make sure that the people who are guilty of doing these crimes are brought to justice.
And you mean the main guy? Like, who was a good cop and doing his job, Sean Suiter? Because when you look at good cops and you see people like Sean Suiter and you see how they report, that's the one thing, like the way they portrayed his death. And he was done, commit suicide because of it.
Well, you know what? His family and friends who knew him, there was actually like a big issue with the way that the show portrayed his death.
You don't say.
And to where no one believes he killed himself.
No
one believes.
And that's what, like, the number one thing. It was like, okay, wait.
So if the show missed up somewhere, it was
that
directing you down a path of thought that led you to believe that this was the one outcome that happened.
What was on the news?
We don't know that he committed suicide, and they say they left it up to the viewer to make your mind up. No. You led me down that way. You led me down the path of thinking that he committed suicide.
Right. There was nobody in the alley.
There was no open-endedness there, other than the fact you didn't see someone who might have shot him. And what he would have testified. He died the day before he was supposed to testify against the gun trace task force.
What a coincidence.
And maybe he did, maybe he didn't. That was the one thing that I thought that they left. They kind of like wanted you to believe something, even though they told you it was open-ended. So I didn't really like that, especially when it's not, it's an unsolved crime. No one knows what happened.
Right.
So they could have left that a little bit more open-ended to interpretation without leading you down that path, But I think outside of that, I think it was just... It was an effective show that was just trying to tell everyone that's not local to Baltimore, this is what happened.
What's going on.
This is where we came from, and this is where we are now.
Yep.
I thought it was effective in that way, but it was nothing spectacular, I didn't think.
The show?
No,
I don't think it was anything
the pacing issues. I had a little issues with some of the characters. I thought were like laying it on a little bit thick.
Right.
Some of the people they got to portray, like citizens, I thought wouldn't say the things they said. Maybe I'm wrong, or the way they said them. I don't know. I'm nitpicking, but I don't know. We can get in Layman's review if you want, but I just it was an effective show for telling a story that needs to be told.
That's it.
And that's pretty much it.
That's it.
So we'll go in Layman's
review, huh?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. It's the definition of a C to me. I watched it. It was over. It told me a story. I don't want anything else from it. I don't want like any update. I want all those cops to rot in prison.
Well, that's what I want to see the update on. I want to know, live or dead? Where are they? I want the politicians, live or dead? Where are they? How more fucked up have they been?
Google search.
I think, well, no, I would like that to be, that would be like the 1 hour or 2 hour, just finish it up. I think I was dancing the line of CB, gave a B because I liked the story. I liked the
and John Bernthal like played his role really well.
Right, and that's it. Like,
he made you hate him.
The guy you like from Baltimore.
The
one dude, I can't think of his name.
Josh Charles.
That's it.
Yeah.
Played a good, like,
he played a good,
dick.
terrible fucking cop.
Yeah. Like that, and so I gave it the B. It fell over on that side because I think it portrayed a good story, had good characters, good actors. The political portion I could have did without, because, all we learned at the end was it's just a fruitless end. I think you're just doing nothing.
The plot was all over the place. They didn't have enough
episodes. I think that's how the story was, though.
To really draw this out and give it the time that it actually needed to let you know just how bad these situations were. They kind of glossed over a couple things like, hey, this shitty thing happened, and next this shitty thing happened, and next this shitty thing happened. And I just felt like I was on the roller coaster of like a shit express.
Did I partially expect and hope for another Wire? Yeah. And I think that was a fool's errand.
Yeah, you were never getting that.
No. Because The Wire was fictional, yet things like that were happening in the city.
It was inspired by the culture of the city, and this was we're going to get some actors to portray some shitty people, and this is all the shitty shit they did. And I thought it was a B to me. I don't think it was deserving of that. I just thought it was what it was, and it did its job, and that there was really nothing more to it than that. And a B would have made me think that the plot would have been a little bit more together. The story wouldn't have jumped around so many times. They would have drawn it out a little bit further. It would have been more than 6 episodes, had a little bit more time to breathe. And I think for that reason is the reason I gave it a C.
Okay, and then as you were talking like that, I was like, all right, the reason I could give it a C is because you asked me, would I recommend someone watching it? Mm-hmm. If you got 6 hours to burn. Now, it is not like you got to watch it.
Well, my biggest issue, again, was the Sean Suiter situation where...
Oh, that ruined the end for me.
I feel like they led you to the water, and they're like, you don't have to drink it, but here's the pond. You know, this is probably what happened to this guy, but we're not going to, like, tell you.
But this is what happened.
And that was really what really pushed it over to a C for me, over top of the other things, because it made you want to believe that he committed suicide, where I don't think anyone's convinced he did.
Right. I agree. We'll settle on a C, and all I got to say is, wow, season 2 of Layman's Review.
We're off to a rough start.
Hitting hard.
Jurassic World Dominion, a D.
Trash.
Yeah, it was trash. And this is a C, which is not trash. I thought the actors did a pretty good job, but I don't think it deserves anything more than we watched it. It was over. It was
no one's still talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that show, like...
Except from, like, people from Baltimore. Probably,
just
because it was their city, they feel proud about it. And over the fact that it was just something that's famous that was filmed there.
Yeah, and that's why
New York has
we
like
1,000. Right, every movie's got New York. Every Marvel movie's got Times Square in it.
We're in L.A. again for the 400th time.
And now this is Baltimore City,
right,
in Maryland. Like, okay.
Yeah, the counties that were there too, and I thought it was really cool that they had that local. It made you feel like you were part of it, kind of.
We're some of those people.
And but yeah, to me it was nothing more than just what it was.
What direction is that? This way. This way.
Yeah. So guys, that was We Own This City. It was a 1 season. It's over. Let us know what else you want us to review. If there's anything out right now that's catching your eye.
I want an A.
I have some A's coming up. I've watched some things. I'm going to try to get Ryan to watch some that are absolute fire. No spoilers, though, about what's coming. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.